Speaking of blindness or deafness? Second level necromancy, casting time of 1 action, range of 30 feet, components verbal, duration 1 minute. Not concentration. You can blind or deafen a foe. Choose 1 creature that you can see within range to make a constitution saving throw. If it fails, the target is either blinded or deafened, your choice for the duration. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make a constitution saving throw. On a success, the spell ends. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, you can target 1 additional creature for each slot above 2nd. While I do enjoy that they give deafness, oh man, is that just not useful. The blind condition, as mentioned in the previous spell as well, is great, even if it's only for 1 turn. And the fact you can upcast this to affect multiple targets, and the big difference between it and Blinding Smite is it's not concentration. So you can just cast this and it might last on them for a minute, it might not, but you don't care because you don't need to worry about concentrating on it. Casting Blindness on a group of targets or one big bad that you just don't want them to be able to hit and you want to hit them easier. The deafness, though... Okay, so what comes to mind, or what most people, at least when I've talked to others about this spell, they view it, because it's such a low level, in a stealthing kind of situation. Like, oh, if you cast deafness, you can then sneak on by so they can't hear you. But likely that guard has just gone deaf for no reason. They're going to be worried. I know if I suddenly went deaf, I'd be talking, I'd be asking for help, or if something's going on. Blindness, yes, they'll still notice that, but you can likely shank them before they can yell, because they can't see where you're coming from, if you can get there in time, and this is all in 1 surprise action. I would be ranting on this and giving it a lower rating if it was just deafness, but this is blindness or deafness, so it's just an additional feature tacked on, as the way I see it. The main feature of this is blindness, if you ask me. Verbal, no material, no somatic, the range is slightly close with 30, still not that close. Casting time of an action, that hurts a tiny bit. But due to the fact it's not concentration, that is such a big save. And you can upcast it as well. Especially like at later levels when you have a ridiculous saving throw, the more likely it is that that's going to last for the full minute. The more worth this spell becomes, especially for such a low level spell slot. I have to give this a 7 out of 10. Still debatable, still situational. They can still save out of it. But it's a good, if you have an action where you're not doing anything else, or you just want to give someone that condition, you can have a lot of people that can capitalize off that blindness. It's good. Cast it on 1 turn and then capitalize on it on the next. Also dependent on the creature with whether they have high con saves or not, so 7 out of 10.